surrounds New Jersey, around the clock. This is News 12 New Jersey.
Welcome back to 12 in Our Schools. Did you know tooth decay is the single most common chronic childhood disease? The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says that tooth decay affects more than a quarter of all children between ages 2 and 5, and half of those ages 12 to 15. Untreated cavities can cause pain, eating dysfunction, being underweight, and poor appearance. It can limit opportunities, just a wealth of problems. Well, the Delta Dental of New Jersey Foundation is addressing those problems with its second annual Oral Health Education Initiative, highlighting the importance of good oral health. My guest today, Kimberly Elmore of the Community Relations Coordination for Delta Dental of New Jersey, and Therese Hendrickson, Coordinator of School-Based Services for the Keensburg School District. Thank you both, ladies, for joining us.
Thank you.
You know, you might, as much as we hear about other things like asthma or autism or really serious health problems, tooth decay doesn't often come up. But in fact, you see that it is an issue.
Right. Tooth decay definitely is an issue. According to the American Dental Association, tooth decay is currently on the rise in children who live in low to moderate income households. So now we're offering the Oral Health Education Initiative grant to promote oral health education all school year long, with the hopes that if we teach the kids young, they'll take those habits and carry them into their adulthood. Right.
Now, your company, of course, Delta Dental, provides dental benefits for over 1 million people in
Correct.
New Jersey. So attacking that issue now will certainly save some problems later on.
That's right.
Let's talk about the initiatives that you're doing inside the classroom. I know we've got some pictures of some of those things going on. Let's take a look at those, and maybe you can take me through some of what you do inside the classroom. I would imagine there are different things with different age groups.
Right. And the grant focuses on doing oral health activities, one per each month of the school year, because we wanted to have oral health be more prevalent inside the school. Currently, oral health is not part of New Jersey school systems, so the grant sets it up so that teachers or school nurses have to develop some type of oral health activity that lasts all school year long.
Yeah, we see some of that taking place here.
Right.
With the younger kids, is it simply just brushing, flossing? Or are there other things?
Well, what we really had hoped to do was to establish a foundation of good oral health early and frequently by, you know, the funding that we were able to receive from Delta Dental that we implemented in the Keensburg public schools specifically for third graders was going to give them a good foundation of an overall approach to oral health as a part of your physical health.
Right.
And to meet that end, we actually had to follow the guidelines of the grant in order to have a lesson once a month specific to the children. But it actually came in to give them the supplies and the materials because we recognize that not everyone from our interviews had toothbrushes or fresh toothpaste, floss, etc. in the household. So that became a theme on a monthly basis for these children in the third grade. So we were actually able to outreach upwards of 150 children.
Wow, that's great.
On a monthly basis with the nurse who, Eleanor Ciccanelli was our nurse who was on the front line teaching the lessons in the classroom, was able to give them a great foundation.
I would imagine one of the harder things that you have to do is teach these kids about the food choices that can make a difference. Not just brushing and flossing, but actually, look, if you're eating candy and chips, that's going to be worse than eating apples and oranges. And maybe they don't get that at that age.
That's so true because, again, it was looking at that whole holistic view of your physical health. So what we were able to do as a part of the grant was to bring our partners and other collaborators in, such as Rutgers Universities has their cooperative extension. So they also visited the classrooms and did lessons on your choices of food items and then what the effects are for them as well.
Do you find that it's helpful to bring in older kids to help younger kids where there may be a little mentoring as opposed to teacher and student kind of thing?
Well, actually, Delta Dental is hoping that through the grant, since it's targeted at third graders, that the third graders will share it with their peers, the younger kids, the older kids. That is the goal of the grant, that they will continue to teach other kids in their school.
Yeah, that seems to be a methodology that some of the schools are using to bring in older kids to work with younger kids as opposed to just the teachers, because they see them differently. And I wonder if that
Yes.
is a part of your effort as well.
That idea of peer education is a strength. We've used that model in other programs that we have in terms of building respect, et cetera. And because of our school system, we have our 3rd and 4th graders are separated from the younger ones, but we've been able to use additional funding to enhance this, to have our 2nd graders now have been given some tools now that when they come in, those 3rd graders will be 4th, so they can in turn then, as we expand this grant into year 2 and carry it on, that they can become those educators in the classroom.
I would imagine this is like a godsend to get that kind of funding from Delta Dental, because we have the schools battling for every penny.
Absolutely.
You know, the state cutting back on some programs and perhaps not fully funding all of those that the schools need.
I have to say we were excited. Our superintendent, Barbara Treskowski, was so delighted to hear that when this money came down, it was focused specifically for Abbott School's 3rd graders. So we leaped at the chance in order to expand some of the services that we have already in our school district, which has a comprehensive health and mental health program. But we've always had a line for dental, and it was really just taking care of those emergent cases that we'd had. We already recognized the need. So this funding to come down to supplement the education component was a gift. And it's also encouraged our staff to be hungry for other ways to bring in other funding, to use their creativity in order to get the message across. So we knew that it was just for 3rd graders, but because we know we have 4th graders, we made this large bulletin board in a highly trafficked area in the building, so every child learned every lesson that was promoted on a monthly basis.
And we should remind our viewers too, the Abbott schools are those that cater to the low-income families and those that don't have the advantages of some of the other kids. Ladies, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Great program. Hats off to Delta Dental.
Thank you.
We'll take a break. When we come back, some parting tips from Kim and Therese. You're watching 12 in Our Schools only on News 12 New Jersey. Stay with us. Welcome back to 12 in Our Schools. We're talking about the Oral Health Education Initiative of Delta Dental of New Jersey and the message of good oral health going into the classrooms and getting some good results. Kim Elmore is the Community Relations Coordinator for Delta Dental, and Therese Hendrickson is the Coordinator of School-Based Services for the Keansburg School District. Let me throw this out to you real quick to receive the benefits you've seen from this program this year.
Well, our principal, Elaine Fireheisen, mentioned that she just sees the independence of these children learning to take good care of themselves, and in the long run, the habits that have been instilled at this young age will ensure that they will take care of their teeth that really should last them from age 8 another 80 to 90 years. And that's really a mission of ours.
That's wonderful. And Kim, you said you've got applications open for schools, right?
That's correct. Delta Dental is currently accepting applications for the Oral Health Education Initiative. The deadline is June 16th, and all of the information about the grant can be found on our website.
All right, and we've got links to those websites on our website. Join us next week for 12 in Our Schools. Again, I'm Brian Jenkins. Until then, remember, knowledge is power.